Okay, 1578 question mark, good luck. We've not played before, no head-to-head score. The question mark means it's a provisional rating. But 433 games, that's a lot, but it could mean he's not played a lot of games for a while. Offering a draw on move 1, is that a joke? That's very bad, isn't it? You shouldn't do that. Okay, we're just playing a traditional reti here. Knight up, so knight up is the correct move. They're the two main moves, and you're just trying to trade and collect your pawn back. And you've got this natural development as well. Okay, knight comes forward. I think queen back is okay. Queen c2 is a very natural move. Just to jump behind your knight. That's what I normally do. But queen b3, we're covering extra squares. Maybe what do I want to do? I've also got this as well to hit the pawn and knight. It's got to be a little bit careful that we don't blunder like queen coming in. That's why I normally go to c2. You can easily forget a move like this and your bishop and the back rank mate hangs. His castle queen side. Seems to know what he's doing. Okay, I'm going to stick to principle, should I? It's a little bit risky. I'm going to try and castle here. There is queen down though, so I'm inviting a bit of trouble here. Rook across and then bishop up and put a lot of quick pressure on is what I'm aiming for. Or maybe just go e4, but like I say, it's very risky. Actually, it probably is a blunder, isn't it? I'll have to look at this line again afterwards. I probably blundered there, actually. Okay, queen up and we create a threat. But I think actually on reflection I did blunder there. Now pawn up weakens this, but it gives us a challenge here. I mean, that's a bit cheesy, isn't it? Just going for a one move mate. No, I'm going to stick to my principle. I'm going to try and go here because we can see the pawns are going to fly down the board here. I don't want that knight staying where it is, so I'm going to try and prepare d4 to develop my other pieces. I'd say there is queen up to create a one move mate threat, but it shouldn't really happen. Okay. Let's go d4 then and see where that knight's going to land. If you go back here, I've got the option to simply take, and then you end up getting double pawns, and that should be good for us. So that's what I'm going to do. You either go with a pawn directly or the queens come off and you get the double pawns. So this should be good for us, but there is an immediate push. So here down, takes, bishop takes, up. I think that's good as well. So if down, I think I just take, otherwise I'm putting the bishop here. Okay, goes there, so I'll gladly develop anyway. Nothing wrong with my opponent's position. He was doing pretty well, to be fair, especially for the rating gap. Like I said, it is a provisional rating, that it's not an actual rating. I've got to be a little bit careful here as well. But yeah, it says my opponent has played 430 games. That's more than enough to get an actual rating, not a provisional. So there must have been a long gap between playing. But he seems to really know what he's doing, actually, doesn't he? So knight across, a knight across just to guard. We can't really stop this. So let's just come this way. This time I'll take with a knight so I can jump the knight somewhere else, assuming bishop or pawn. Okay, he goes across. He's playing this exceptionally well, actually. Exceptionally well. Okay. Back, down. I'm going to go here because I create a tempo attacking the pawn. Okay, actually, let's not pre-move. It is rapid, but yeah. If I take the pawn there, okay, I can check and grab a pawn here, but I'm getting trapped. If I took the pawn there, king up, I was going to say you attack two pieces at once. So I can check here and come here, or I can take. So that looks logical, but you don't want to end up in a pin with your rook hanging. So I assume here, if I take the pawn, it feels like I might be getting trapped. Now, there is a square here to come back, but here, say pawn up, my knight has then got no escape, but If I take, actually I attack the rook in one go, don't I? So can I do that safely and run? But this could be a serious problem, so I'm not going to do it. I need to deal with that pawn. The rest don't matter. That could settle a game. Oh, and we've got that pawn. Yeah, I was expecting obviously bishop back to guard there. So we've got the most crucial pawn. If I can get that one and just swap them two off, then obviously I'm just a clean pawn up. If we can. I think I want to run the king this way, but I could go here, you know, waiting for this to happen. How do I want to do this? My instincts are to bring the king in over, just because of this outer pawn. If I could swap them both off, I think that would be pretty good. Okay, so he goes there getting ready to attack the knight. Hold on here though, you can imagine the rook getting down. How do I want to do this? I'm looking at hitting the bishop, but I don't think I want to see what I'm getting. So I'm going to go here and hit the pawn. Maybe we can just check and trade the rooks, but then all my pawns, these pawns are on the wrong square. So check. The king moves anywhere. We take the rook. If you take us here, we can drop back, but you can actually queen, so that's a bit risky. You might actually be able to sack the rook. Check, you move somewhere. We take, you take the knight. And there's no way to actually get back to stop the queen, so we don't look at that as an option. We just go back where we were and we hit the pawn. Excuse me. But yeah, I've got to be really careful here. Oh, he's blundered. Just blundered the game. Just one simple mistake. But again, there's still a danger. It's not necessarily completely over. Now he's offering a draw. Shouldn't really do that. Just play the game on. You might win the game. Okay, goes back. So we take. The only danger is this outside pawn. If I get rid of that outside pawn or get the rooks off, then it should be a clean win. So how do we best do that? I'm going to grab another pawn while I can, because I can defend here, but again, rook down and then you march the king down the board. I might end up having to sack a piece for the pawn, but I'd be quite happy to do that in principle. So what do I do here? Do I want the pawn up? Do I go behind? I think for now I go behind and I try and get my knight back to chase the rook. So here with the tempo attacking the pawn, if I get both of these pawns, I can just run my own and then cleanly sack the rook. That's fine. As long as I sack my rook for my opponent's pawn, then I've got plenty of pawns of my own. So I'm going to come here and hit this one, but it's still not over. It should be, but it isn't. I've got f3 to come to d4. Very nice square. Okay, so I'm going to come here. Then we could potentially go here and hit this one as well, but otherwise just a d4. Now, I'm going to play a holding move, because again, it gives my opponent a chance to blunder the check. He should see that. He should see that. What about running my own pawn up? I'm going to push this pawn up again. I'm just giving my opponent a chance to blunder the check. He should be aware of it and go here, but I've still got knight up anyway. And then eventually, I'll just start running my own pawn up. Maybe it's a good move now. Actually, I think it is. Is it? If I go here, what do you do? Here, you can just do this. Hold on, I've got another move here though. Hit the rook here with a check threat, depending on, again, where you go. It's a chance to blunder again. Doesn't mean he will blunder, shouldn't do, but it's a chance to, and he has. He has missed it this time. Very, very easy to do, but again, it's not a real crushing win, is it? It's a decent, well-played game by my opponent. Now I'll just take the pawn. Just give the knight up. You know, everything's winning now. Just run both pawns and there's nothing much the king can do. I'll guard that and protect this. And then just run. Just take there. So just run. Okay, so we can come here and stop the king from escaping. You just got to be careful and make certain the king's got at least one square to go to. And then check. Our rook here is probably cleanest. You can definitely go back where you were, and I can check and just ladder mate. It's a good effort, isn't it, though? Played well again. One little... Oh, he's offering a draw again. You shouldn't do that. That's really bad. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it and just sit there. That is just very, very bad. You shouldn't do that. Let's just reject it. See what he actually does. Okay, we're down to the last 20 seconds now, so not long to go for the clock to finally run out. And we'll briefly put the game through the engine like we do with all of the games and see how we've actually played it. He's done that deliberately to try and avoid a notification with the account with lichess. That just won't work. That just won't cut with him. Whatever you do, boys and girls, don't do that yourself. You shouldn't let the clock run for minutes like that deliberately. He won't get away with that one. Now let's pause that and put it through the engine and see how the game was actually played. But yeah, if you're throwing a move like that, if you let it run for 5 minutes and then throw a move in at the end to try and say you didn't really let the clock run, you won't get away with that. That won't wash with the moderators, so don't do that. So we did blunder earlier on in the game, I suspect. Yeah, our opening e3. I thought that at the time, didn't I? Because again, that was my one blunder. 94% versus 89% accuracy. The headline figures, they're not bad, are they? It's just because I tend to play good principled chess. So when I get good accuracy figures, my opponents often do. It doesn't really matter what the ratings are. It's just one of them things, the way that the accuracy works so sometimes. So my blunder, actually, where was it? I thought I'd blundered earlier on. Sometimes it's very easy to mix your theory up. When I played g3, it's a very common line in the reti to get g3, develop your bishop, and then but black can could have played the immediate queen to d5. So I thought I'd actually blundered here. But the engine's saying no, it's still perfect level. It's actually not a blunder. It's a perfectly good move in that position. It was actually e3 when I blundered. So e3, yeah, it weakens this square. My idea was just to simply push the pawns up. So that was my one blunder. And it's still only gone from +1 to level. So it's, well, slightly more than level. You let that green bar run, and that's when the engine has then stopped thinking. You see that green progress bar going up there. So it's gone from +1 to -0.5. So I've lost a bit with that move there. So I'm losing control of this square. I was just trying to develop. So that was my only blunder. So it is what it is.